Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm back at Bournemouth Ducati and I'm going to be testing a bike I absolutely love. I have ridden this before. This is of course the new Hypermotard Mono. This is a Ducati Bournemouth demo bike, but the reason I'm really excited about taking this out is because they have fitted it with the optional full system. So it's got the optional full Termi system on this bike. So I've ridden the standard one. Those who know the channel know I've got a fully modified KTM SMCR as well, so I love my supermotos. And when I rode this before, I loved it, but I thought, oh, well, what's it like if you got a pipe on it, you know? Because it gives the bike another 7 horsepower, and it also enables this Ducati wheelie assist system. So obviously most bikes have wheelie control, and wheelie control helps you keep the front wheel on the ground. This bike helps you keep the front wheel in the air, and you only get the wheelie assist mode when you've got the full system on it. So yeah, I'm really excited about taking this out. So we're going to go out for a little bit of a thrash, see what she's like with the full system, see how she sounds, and see how the wheelie assist works as well. So if that sounds of interest, a bit of buggering around on supermotos, then this is a video for you. So make yourself comfortable, get yourself a cup of tea, and Jopsy, roll the intro. So before we set off, let me just fire her up. Let's have a little bit of that. Oh! Sounds a little bit different to the Diavel I was riding the other week. They've still got the Diavel, by the way. Here she is with that full Akropovic. I rode that a couple of weeks ago, so if you want to see a first ride on that bad girl, I'll link it at the top. Oh yes, oh yes, that's what the stock bike was missing when I rode it. That because okay, so this engine, let's talk a little bit about this before we get onto some. Oh blimey, it's lively. Jeez, it feels lively. So this engine is Ducati's first single they've made in years and years and years. All new. I think last year this bike came out, and it's I think 77 horsepower standard. But with the full system, it gives you, I think, another 7 horsepower. So it's probably about 84, something like that at the moment. And but when I rode the standard one, what I really noticed, because I've got the SMCR's got loads of drive and mid-range, especially when you modify them. I'd say mine's got a power commander, mine's got a full system, mine's also got a different airbox as well. And my SMCR made 72 horsepower at the back wheel on the dyno. But it's always a load of mid-range with the SMCR. So when I rode this with this, you know, completely stock with all its Euro restrictions and emission controls, it felt a bit flat in the bottom end and the middle. But I'm really pleased to say that with that pipe, it's really livened up the mid-range and bottom end. It's got a lovely little backfire on the overrun. I don't think it will come out on camera, if you'll better hear that or not, but a lovely little backfire, and it's actually it's not too loud. That is awesome, that is awesome. That's made a big difference to this machine. That drive at the bottom, because this engine, it revs to something like 10,000 RPM. You know, for a big single, it's ridiculous what it revs to. And that's the thing, you know, the engine's designed for revs, and that's not necessarily what you want on a supermoto. You might want a bit more drive out the corners and stuff. But this engine is very revvy, but as I say, in stock guys, it was missing a bit of mid-range. It just feels absolutely glued to the road. The poise and what it feels like, the grip level you've got, Oh, that's really nice actually. Wow, I like that straight away. What I was impressed with when I rode this bike before was how flexible this engine was. Big singles, they don't like to be laboured at all, and on my SMCR, sort of anything below 3,000 revs, you can forget about it really. It just sort of it doesn't like it at all, and you've got to sort of avoid that rev range. And then it runs out of revs, you know, about sort of 8,000 RPM or so. So you've got quite a small, you know, rev range window, let's call it. But because this revs to 10,000 revs, and I think even if you go below 3,000, that's second gear, 2,000 revs, it's definitely more tractable at the bottom than the SMCR, and you've got more revs at the top. But as I say, the stock one I rode, it's not that much mid-range, there's not that much bottom end, because big singles, Euro emissions, you know, they have to really lean them up, have to really strangle them to make them meet the emissions regulations. And the SMCR in stock form is exactly the same. But of course, with the full system, the Ducati map, and the fact that it enables this wheelie assist, I'm going to have to go into the settings and see how you work that wheelie assist. You know, already just coming out of town through here, I'm really quite impressed already. The riding position, I'd say it's pretty similar to SMCR. It feels a little bit wider, I'd say. You've got a slightly wider seat, which I don't think is a bad thing, because it's very, very thin, and you can get quite a sore bum on the SMCR because the seat is so thin. It's very enduro-like on the SMCR. It feels a bit more width to it. It's a high seat, of course. You know, the seat feels, it's got a bit of padding in it. This bike just wants me to attack all the corners. Just absolutely wants me to attack. It is a bit cold, so I've got to be a little bit careful. I've got to resist laying it on its side. It just wants to lay on its side. Oh, that front brake is so nice. So much power. Blipper's also brilliant. Oh, hear it popping. Hear it popping there. I don't want to be fighting wheelie control, so let me... how do you drive this thing? The wheelie control is off in sport mode. Okay. I'm just messing with the settings is all.
I thought, is he bloody run out of petrol?
No, absolutely fine. I'm just messing about with wheelie control and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what, they're too freaking complicated.
I know, they are complicated these days, I have to say. Thanks for coming over anyway, mate, appreciated.
You got enough fuel and everything?
Yeah, it's full tank, mate, it's full tank. Thanks very much for coming over, appreciated. Nice fella. Okay, so we're in sport. Sport is wheelie control off. Traction level 2, wheelie control off. So that is cool. There's a lot of yeah, the electronics on this are really, really good. That's why we had the warning triangle on, because in the sport mode the wheelie control is off. I mean, when this bike came out last year, there was a lot of hoo-ha about it. You know, at the old Intermot show, it won Bike of the Show. You know, everyone praising it, everyone loving it. I haven't seen any on the road. Now, I don't know why that is. I know exactly why that is, because supermotos are very niche, and that's why you don't see many on the road, you know. So despite all the fanfare, all of the praise, you know, and all of that stuff, have I seen any? No. This is a £14,000 bike with this system on it. It's a hell of a lot of money for a big single, isn't it? 14 grand. That full system's £2,000. Crazy. But if you want to keep, you know, if you want the map, the Ducati map to match the pipe and the wheelie assist, which I can't work out how you use, then you've got to pay the money. In standard form, you just feel like the bike's not giving you everything it's got. I mean, look at the drive when you just open it up when it's got that pipe on. It just doesn't do that on the standard bike. Oh, little badger in the road. Head badger! The suspension also feels bloody lovely as well, very plush. Oh, it's a hoon, it's an absolute hoon machine, this. Oh, it's a lot of fun, this. I love supermotos. Why haven't they sold more of these bikes? That should be the question I'm asking. Not why I haven't seen any, and why haven't I seen any on the roads? Why aren't people buying? I know it's £14,000, that's why people are buying it. But it's a hell of a fun machine. I mean, 60 miles an hour, what's it doing? 5,000 revs? I mean, 70, you can easily cruise at motorway speed. 5,500 revs at 70-ish, something like that. It's fine, isn't it? You could do a bit of distance on this. I would say this is more comfortable than the SMCR for sure. There's quite a lot of suspension dive when you go hard on the brakes. That's to be expected though. That sounds good. This is a good bit of fast road, but it's too fast for this bike, so I'm going to try and find some nice little back roads to abuse, I mean ride on. But there's so much overtaking grunt, and it's just the sound now, you know what I mean? It's just woken up the whole bike, and I like the fact that it's not too ridiculously loud. This feels it's not reasonably, it's loud, but it's not ridiculously loud. This would have been a good little road look if it wasn't. Ooh, hit the backfire there, hit the pop of the crackhead. You got to have a bit of that, haven't you? What's the supermoto without a bit of brap? Now it's got the brap. We've brought the brap. Quick shifter, blipper, nice. Just makes me smile every time it does that. That backfire, it just makes me smile. Let's have a little play up here. This looks like a good road for a supermoto. Let's have a little play up here. Third gears. Oh, it's fantastic fun. Absolutely fantastic fun for this sort of ride, this sort of road, this sort of riding. I love that crack as you change gear. The suspension definitely feels a bit plusher than the SMCR, I'd say. Oh, we'll leave all that though until we do the comparison, but I can tell you it's much plusher. Soaking up all these bumps. Gives a rest. Yeah, it's quick. Oh, what a thing. Listen to that. It's when you turn that throttle, it's just got that urgency back again. That was completely sort of missing from the standard bike, from what I can remember. Thank you, sir. I said it the first time I rode it. I'll put the link to my original ride on the stock bike at the top. It definitely feels like a bike you could do a bit more miles on than the 690. But I think it's still got that level of hoon factor that the 690 has with this pipe on it. It definitely didn't in standard form, but there's definitely a lot more urgency when you open the throttle now. I'm not talking about just at the top, I'm talking about everywhere. Oh, shadow tires. A little bit wet. It wants me to attack. I've not had this much fun on a bike in a little while. Woo. I mean, the engine characteristics are, of course, different to the KTM. it is much more KTM-like now. Oh, it's also got that backing in stuff, hasn't it? You can start backing it in and it'll allow it to back in. And you're going around a corner, obviously, not a straight line. And what I love about these little supermotos, these little singles, it's like 650 horsepower. But what I love about them is they're really good on fuel as well. So you can have all this fun, and you've got cheap insurance, cheap fuel. What is not to like? I wish it was dry, I wish the roads were dry, I could just throw it around here with gay abandon. A bit too cold, too wet to do that. Woo! Sorry Ducati Bournemouth, got your bike dirty. Oh, some tyres are all wet now. Oh, that is a hell of a lot of fun. I'm going back again. I really wanted to see how this wheelie assist works, but I can't seem to find it in the settings. I mean, it could be on all the time. I even tried to do a bit of research about it, and there's no videos out there on YouTube telling you how to use it. I've turned the wheelie control off for some fun. It's nice to think I've also got traction control on. I've not had to turn everything off, which of course you do have to do that on the SMCR. You have to turn everything off. The Ducati definitely wins from the electronics point of view. And we all know Ducati electronics are really, you know, one of the best out there, if not the best out there, really. If you want to do just a bit of basic power wheelies, then, you know, piece of cake. If you want to chuck in the clutch, she will love it. She will love you for it. She'll reward you for it. Weighs about 150 kilos. I think it's a couple of kilos heavier than the KTM. I think Ducati say 150 without fuel, so all fluids but without fuel, whereas KTM will only give you a completely dry weight. But I think this is a couple of kilos heavier, but not, you know, not enough in it to be a consideration, you know. I think this is perhaps a tiny little bit bigger, physically a tiny little bit bigger as well. And like I say, it's definitely wider, it's definitely more comfortable than the SMCR, but we will leave that for the full comparison. Stop teasing you with the comparison information. We will do that. So I've just stopped at the pub to get a quick coffee, warm up a little bit, and I thought I'd go through the settings again, because I'm not happy. I've not been able to confirm I've got this wheelie assist on or not. So I've put it in the, I've set up the road riding mode now to have full power, traction control, sorry, wheelie control 1. So I thought maybe if you have wheelie control on 1, you will get the, you know, the wheelie assist business. So, but the trouble is, you know, without it telling me it's on, I'm probably not going to get it high enough. So I'm too much of a wuss, and it's not my bike, and I'm on the road. 3 good reasons not to do that. But yeah, so I'm not sure I'm going to know whether it's on or not, you know. So don't know about that. I'm going to try it in that mode, see if we can tell. But what I thought I'd do, I'll give it a little bit of a rev on idle so you can hear the pipes a bit better, because it was stone cold last time, and I'm not revving bikes when they're stone cold, obviously. So now she's warm. Let me start her up again. Hold on. Oh, I said it wasn't very loud, didn't I? I might have been wrong. That definitely has a more of an angry note to it than the KTM, I would say. Definitely a little bit more angry sounding when you're revving it. Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? That's the view of it from the back, look. So you've got the two big wangers. And they've got baffles in. It's unremovable baffles, look, and they've got the baffles in. Ah, that's interesting. So that's how loud it is with the baffles in. It's quite, you know, it's a sensible volume actually. I'll be quite happy with that. You might even get on track with that, with the baffles in, I think. Oh, what a shame I didn't bring my DB. I need to start bringing a little DB meter out with me on these test rides with Bournemouth Ducati, don't I? So I can start sound testing these exhaust systems. But that's loud. That's not as loud as my SMCR, but my SMCR doesn't have any baffles in it. Right, let's jump back on. Right, we should probably head back to Ducati Bournemouth now. It's starting to get dark. I mean, come on, it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course it's getting dark. I hate this country in the winter. I absolutely love, in the summer, it's light till 10 o'clock in the evening. You can go out in your supermoto, you can play around all evening. You know, and it gets dark about 10, doesn't it? And the longest days in the summer. But the payoff for having that amazing summer evening is it starts to get dark about 2:30, and it's completely sort of dark by 4 o'clock, which is shite. Hate that. But I wouldn't want to change it if it means I miss out on my summer evening riding. So can't have it all both ways, can you? It's just, you can't help but grin, right? There's some bikes out there that you just ride them. They just make you smile. I didn't want to come up then when I gave it a little bit of clutch. I'm a little bit out of practice on the wheelies because I haven't ridden my SMCR for a while, and I'm making excuses now for doing absolutely terrible wheelies during this video. Perhaps I wasn't the best person to test out the the wheelie control settings. So as I said at the beginning, I think I'm going to have to do a comparison with my 690 now, because I absolutely love this. This is the Hypermotard I wanted it to be, you know, when I rode the standard bike. The poise of it is amazing. I mean, I don't know, you know, I know I've got a fair few supermoto fanboys on my channel, because I've loved supermotos and I've been promoting sort of supermotos for years really. So I know there's a few of you out there who've got 690s, etc. But I just want to sort of make everyone else aware, you know, these bikes are such fun. Yeah, this is £14,000 with the pipe, and you do really need the pipe, because I think it is a little bit strangled with the Euro emissions without the pipe. I mean, look at that pickup there. But, you know, it's a £14,000 bike with the pipe. The good news is, you know, you can keep all your warranties, and, you know, you're not going to lose your warranty, all of that stuff. That's amazing. And massive props to Ducati for that. But it's still 14 grand for a single, you know. But it's £14,000. But I tell you now, there's not many bikes out there that will make you smile and laugh for £14,000 as what this does. Yeah, okay. You could say, yeah, the MC09, Chopsy, MC09, that's a lot of fun. It is, but it doesn't have the poise of this. It's heavier than this. It's just something about a supermoto on the road. You know, you've got like so much tyre, so much grip, and they're so light, you just throw it, it's almost sort of undescribable how much fun, and just the thrill of the corners when you've got a supermoto. You've got to have the right sort of roads to ride them on. You don't want big fast, you know, you want to be on the little back lanes like I was. That's where the fun is. And I've always said it, you get a couple of mates on these down the little back lanes, absolute scream, and it really improves like your mental agility, because going fast down those little back lanes where you've got grass down the middle, grit, you're looking at the road, you feel like you're doing 200 mile an hour around the Isle of Man when you're doing sort of 60 down a tiny little dirt track. It's a great deal of excitement there, and I think that tunes your brain into sort of going fast and makes you a faster rider. You can tell I'm a hooligan, can't you? Absolute hooligan. Only a hooligan would come out with such nonsense as that. But it's just a lot of fun. What I'm saying is it's a lot of fun. So if you want to test the Hypermotard Mono with the full system, give Dan a ring, or any of the guys a ring at Ducati Bournemouth, then put yourself in for a test ride. It's great that they're putting these systems on these bikes, because you can't really tell. You know, I couldn't buy one of these without seeing what it would really be like, you know, with the exhaust on. So massive props to Ducati Bournemouth for equipping some of their bikes with the full systems on. And like I say, I did do a first ride on the Aval with the 5K Akropovic system on. I'll link it at the top. But yeah, so massive thanks to Ducati Bournemouth, really appreciate it, guys. And they will shortly be getting their Street Fighter V2, their new V2, the whole new V2 range in, and also the new Street Fighter V4S coming in. So I will shortly, hopefully January time, be giving you a first ride of all those new Ducatis, those new models which are coming out for 2025. And I must say, after riding the new Panigale last week, I'm really quite excited to try that new Street Fighter V4S and also the new V2s as well. I think they're going to be superb. So if you're interested in seeing an early ride on those bikes, then don't forget, subscribe. You know what you've got to do, press that button, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks very much.